A mass memorial service has been held for the 21 people who died in a bar in South Africa last month. The empty coffins were laid out before thousands of mourners, including South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, in East London. The coffins remained empty as police are still investigating the mysterious deaths which occurred at the Enyobeni Tavern, a popular night spot in Scenery Park Township where young people were gathered to celebrate the end of mid-year exams. A toxicology report is yet to be concluded, but forensic pathologists have suggested the deaths were caused by something inhaled or ingested. A short time ago, I spoke to Arise correspondent Olusi Masango. I began by asking him if there had been any updates on the cause of these 22 deaths.
Look, Femi, what we know right now is that the forensics, as far as the Department of Health Department's forensic sector is concerned, they have been busy really just trying to figure out and nitpick what the cause of those 21 deaths at that tavern on the 25th of June was. Right now, they have indeed ruled out the possibility of a stampede as those teens were jostling to get out of that venue on that fateful morning of the 25th of June. So a stampede has been ruled out. But preliminary examinations, I think, throughout the course of the week were pointing towards a possible chemical poisoning within the venue moments before those teens were seen trying to get out of that Enyobeni Tavern. I mean, hours there. I literally just got back from there yesterday, and I can tell you right now, the area is still cordoned off as the police and forensics are trying to really establish what the actual cause of death for those 21 teens were. Today, we saw that symbolic funeral that was happening with just about 19 of those teens, seeing that 2 of those teens were already buried by their families yesterday, Femi. Today, we've seen those, the coffins that were brought to the stadium for that mass funeral, whilst most of the families pointed out that they will be burying their own children. So we saw just the caskets being brought to the stadium. And of course, we saw that speech by the president in which he even raised concerns about the availability of alcohol to teens in the country, saying that government needs to do a lot, including possibly looking at increasing that age of consumption from 18 years old to 21 years old in the country.
And I'm glad you mentioned not only President Ramaphosa's comments on the situation, but also the topic of legality of young people being allowed to drink and consume alcohol, because there have been reports that the bar in question allegedly sells alcohol to underage drinkers. Has this been independently verified at all?
Indeed, it has been verified. I personally had conversations with some of those devastated parents. I mean, the youngest was just 13 years old, Adifemi. And if you have, an establishment like that sells alcohol to a child that young, a lot needs to be said about that particular establishment. I mean, just even taking a walk through around that area, you could get how some of the neighbors were not really happy with that establishment, seeing that it has rather managed to operate for that long, seeing that they have been lodging their complaints. They have been speaking to the Department of Liquor here in the province to tell them that, look, there are children that come here seeing underage consumption of alcohol. What are you doing? But it seems like their pleas and cries fell on deaf ears, which is why we saw that incident happening. I can tell you, Femi, the youngest was 13 years old. The eldest was just 20 years old. So right now, which is why government is really trying to, navigate around this maze of alcohol consumption here in the country. But then again, pointing to a greater possibility that there are societal ills as well that contribute to these children turning to alcohol instead of doing what teenagers should be doing at that tender age.
Absolutely. I mean, this is heartbreaking across the board. Between Cyril Ramaphosa's comments when he was in attendance earlier, what did he have to say about the incident? And then also, I would like you to touch on the township itself where this happened. What do we know about it? What type of area is it?
So Scenery Park is in the eastern part of the country, surrounded by great scenery such as your beaches in East London there, and I was there. And I think I had the opportunity to interact with the community, the neighbors in close proximity to that tavern where this particular incident happened, as well as those teens, some of them who even survived this particular incident. Most of them were pointing to the mere fact that some drinks were offered for free on the day, some food was offered for free on that day, but police, on the other hand, coming out to say that this is not really true. But when you have people who were right in the building on the day giving first-hand accounts to say we were offered alcohol, we were offered food for free, and these are just children, Adefemi, there are questions, that are then brought up with regards to the regulatory bodies that make sure that these structures adhere to the rules that are put in place for them. I had a conversation as well with one of the executives from the liquor body who said that they felt that they had granted this particular establishment the license because they felt it had conformed rather to some of the regulations that were put in place. But look, on the other hand, you have neighbors blatantly coming out to say the liquor authority is lying because they had raised some concerns to say this is an establishment that must be shut down. So you have both sides of the coin right now. You have, the residents who are saying, no, we raised our concerns with the liquor regulatory body. And on the other hand, you have the body itself saying that, no, we felt everything was above board. So which now means that even the procedures of ensuring that an establishment obtains a liquor license is brought into close scrutiny, because it cannot happen that about 21 teenagers die under such mysterious circumstances as we've seen at the Enyobeni Tavern, Femi.
All right, Safi Mosango, thank you very much for that update.